They threw his body into the Tiber, naked, bloodied, and unloved. But that wasn't the part that frightened Rome. It was the years before, when he ruled like a god made of perfume, silk, and fire, and forced the empire to look at him. You stand beneath the arch of Septimius Severus, where the air is colder than you expected. The marble reflects the moonlight like polished bone. At 14, your name became Thunder. Marcus Aurelius Antoninus, Emperor of Rome. But it is not your name they will remember. It is the perfume, the silks, the fire god veiled in gold. The historians will call you Elagabalus, a name pulled from your god. Elagabal, the black stone deity of Emesa. They will say you were no Roman at all, that you carried Syria in your blood and blasphemy in your mouth, that your hands, small, ringed, painted, pulled Jupiter down from his altar and set a meteorite in his place. You don't deny it. They gave you Rome, and you offered them something holier, or stranger, inside the temple you built, columns swirled with crimson, altars burning with saffron and myrrh. You don the robes of a high priest, not an emperor. You do not march, you glide, you do not order, you summon. And when you kneel before the Baital, the sacred black stone that fell from heaven, you do not ask its blessing. You speak as it. What is power, you ask yourself, if it cannot transform the body that holds it? You call your charioteer Heracles not servant, but husband. You place emerald rings on his fingers. You smile when he calls you lady. The court stares. They do not understand how someone draped in gold and crown can wish to be seen through silk and shadow. And then comes the scandal that Rome could not digest, no matter how many festivals you declared. You marry a Vestal virgin, Aquilia Severa, a woman sworn to chastity by divine law. Her womb was supposed to belong only to the gods, but you claimed it for your own god, the foreign fire that now ruled the Palatine. The Senate recoiled. The priests howled. You said it was a divine union, a marriage of sun and flame, but they only saw desecration. They whispered the word sacrilege until it tasted like law. You break that marriage, then remake it, then break it again. You marry 4 more times. All women, all symbols, all veils to hide what you never intended to hide. What they say behind closed doors becomes louder than your processions. That you seek surgeons who might transform your body. That you ask courtiers if they can make you a woman. That you are not simply defying Rome's gods, but unmaking its order. You pass new laws. One permits a man to marry another, not because it changes anything, but because it reflects everything you are. And yet, amid the censers and candles, even you begin to wonder, are you building a new Rome, or simply daring them to destroy the old one? But palaces do not forgive. You thought Rome would forget its anger, that it would bend beneath incense and silk. But stone does not bend, and the Praetorian Guard does not bow to incense. Behind the walls of your golden temple, the fires burn lower. Heracles, once your divine consort, is mocked by officers. The Senate avoids your summons. And Julia Maesa, your grandmother, the architect of your ascent, begins to whisper with your cousin, Alexander. You try to hold Rome with spectacle. You host games no one asked for. You scatter coins from balconies. You throw feasts where peacock brains are served in wine, and snow is carried from the Alps in wagons. You invite the people to the palace and promise them wonders. But it is not wonder they crave. It is control. And you, Elagabalus, have never been predictable. You do not fight battles. You do not issue decrees of conquest. You dance. You vanish for days. You change garments mid-procession. You insist your priests shave their bodies and wear perfume. You install a eunuch as high advisor. You turn the palace into a shrine and your rituals into law. When a thunderstorm strikes during your feast for the sun god, the guests scream. They take it as a sign that Rome's gods are angry, that your god, your foreign god, is false. You try to quell it. You send statues of Elagabal across the empire. You force generals to swear by the stone. You say you are not just Caesar. You are divine flesh. You are the bridge between gods and mortals. But the bridges begin to crack. And somewhere, perhaps in a chamber where you once rehearsed your sacred steps, Julia Mesa makes her decision. Your cousin, Alexander Severus, is 12, soft-spoken, Roman enough. She dresses him in neutral cloth and leads him before the guard. They see in him what they never saw in you, a boy who will grow into something manageable. They name him co-emperor. And you feel the robe slipping from your shoulders. You summon Heracles. He stands silently. You remember the night he first called you my lady, and how for a moment that name felt realer than any title Rome ever gave. You ask him what to do. He says nothing, and for the first time, you feel alone in your own palace. Will the gods you crown still speak for you when the knives are drawn? The knock at the door is soft, too soft for the imperial guards, too soft for loyalty. You rise, not as emperor, not as god, but as something in between. The silks hang off your frame like memory. The sacred meteorite lies untouched in its chamber. Cold now, its fire forgotten. They do not take you in public. The Senate will not risk a riot. Instead, they come at dawn while the city still dreams. It is the Praetorian Guard, the same men who once kissed your ring. They bring no trial, no charge, no priest. You do not scream. Your mother is with you, Julia Soemias, still smelling of oils and iron. They take her too. The end is not slow, but it is cruel. The blade is not ceremonial. It is meant for silence. Your body, shorn, broken, stripped of jewels, is dragged through the streets. Mocked, kicked, spat upon, the women who once bowed to you turn their faces. The boys who once mimicked your walk look away. They tie you to a weight and roll you into the Tiber. No rites, no fire, no name. The stone god you worshipped is taken from the Palatine. The temple is rededicated. The Senate erases your laws, your marriages, your rituals. Your portraits are scraped from marble. Even your birth name is forgotten. But history remembers differently. It remembers that you ruled not with armies, but with symbols. That you were crowned a child and condemned for never becoming what they expected. That you walked into the empire's oldest halls in perfume and priest robes and dared to ask, what if power looked like this? The silks are gone now, the incense long faded, but somewhere in the sediment of the Tiber, perhaps a ring remains. Perhaps a thread of embroidered gold. Perhaps Rome did not bury you to erase you. Perhaps it buried you because it knew it never could.